Speaking of being triggered, let's head over to The Athletic, where we find the Ohio State basketball coaching candidates hot board.
Oh, we love a hot board on this show. Lay it on me. Who's your 5?
Now, to be fair, I always love to read the hot boards.
Yeah.
I do, because it gives you information, but also it gives you where we're looking, what realm are we looking in. And the general takeaway from the Ohio State basketball opening is that it feels like it's going to be somebody who's going to leave their sitting high major job right now to take this job. I don't know that I agree with the idea, like the general premise of that.
Or Jay Wright. I saw a lot of Jay Wright yesterday during the show.
Let's have the discussion first of how good is that job? Are you leaving your powers? Are you leaving your high major job where you're having success and you're building something right now to go just automatically, hands down, be the head basketball coach at Ohio State, which is a football school in the Big Ten that has plenty of money?
Yeah. There's money, there are resources. They would like that team to be good, like the administration would.
Well, that's the downside to it, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
When it turns on you, it turns.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Holtmann had been good up until this year. Jim Tressel was good forever. They're already turning on Ryan Day. I know Jim Tressel had some other stuff going on.
Final Fours in 07 and 12.
Thad Matta had some good stuff going on. I know there was more to that too. But I'm just saying, they've had a lot of good coaches and a lot of success, and for some reason, for one reason or the other, they don't end up staying there.
Haven't won the conference tournament since 2013.
But whether or not, I think it's very clear you can obviously win there.
Yeah,
you can win there.
Yeah,
but I think the downside to the job is the super short fuse and maybe the outsized expectations.
Okay,
right?
I understand what you're saying now.
That's the short side of it. So
they want to be an all athletics school, but they are a football school.
Is it a good job in the sense that you can win football or you can win basketball games there? Yeah, of course. Is it a good job in the sense that you have a built-in dedicated fan base and resources, therefore you can, pay whatever coach X amount of dollar figure to leave their sitting high major job right now? Yes. Yeah, of course. You're one of the schools that has the designation of being a Big Ten school, right? So there's money to make all the rest of your athletic department really good. But also, it's not like it's this huge, long history of tradition and success.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been some good coaches there who have been run out real quick. And I'm not defending Chris Holtmann. I'm just saying sometimes bad years happen. And maybe it's maybe the general public could look on that and say, that seemed a little fast, right? Oh, we all saw it coming yesterday.
Yeah.
But maybe a little fast. Hadn't they been to 3 straight NCAA tournaments under him? I know that's not the end all be all.
22, 21, 19, 18. So, technically 4 straight?
Well, Chris Holtmann has been around for, so he won a game in 18, won a game in 19, 20 got canceled, got beat in the first round in 21, won a game in 22.
Yeah, they haven't been to the Sweet 16 since 2013.
And didn't go to the tournament last year, and this year they stink. So, I don't know, it's quite a lot of success. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, to the board, Josh.
Hot board.
Here's who they list in alphabetical order, but I can tell you who's on the front page with the picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, indeed.
What are we trying to do here?
Indeed. It's not Dusty May. It's not Nico Medved. It's not Sean Miller. It's not Porter Moser. It's not Jerome Tang. It's not TJ Otzelberger.
What kind of hot board is this?
It's Greg McDermott.
This isn't a hot board. It's a lukewarm board with Greg McDermott on it.
So we know the connection to the job from 7-ish years ago, and that was close. That was close to happening, and Greg McDermott came back. There is some different leadership there now. Ted Carter is the president C
And Admiral.
and of course still the admiral. And then of course this coincides with freaking Ed Cooley saying stuff the other night.
I hope you guys respect him.
By the way, did you see? I retweeted it last night. DeMarinis had a nice little compilation of all the times that Ed Cooley says that you should appreciate the coach that you have here. Ed Cooley just says that a lot.
That's his line.
By the way,
that's his go-to stump speech.
Yeah. It's almost like he's projecting his own feelings on some things.
That's funny, actually.
It's almost like he likes being appreciated. Anyway, so there's that. But the timing obviously a little bit coincidental. I guess I would have a hard time thinking like, all right, if this was close and there was reasons to not do it a handful of years ago, then there is reasons to do it now. There is money. There is money. And there is, of course, the situation at Creighton changing over that period of time. On the basketball court, it's for the better. Elsewhere, maybe not. Right? So this is just setting the tone for this. He's going to pop up on some lists. Mac's going to pop up on some lists. Just be prepared. Just one of
I'm prepared to say this. I don't like it.
Oh no, I don't like it at all. I got an email yesterday from one of our listeners. And
was it Pedro?
No, it was Adam.
Oh,
it was Adam.
Hi, Adam.
He didn't say thanks, Pedro. He just said, I'm Adam. And he was like, hey, I think you should talk about this. But one of the lines in one of his emails was, I'll just read it to you. If Mac were to leave, it would be catastrophic for CU. Now that all depends on what happens afterwards. Right. I think there is a list of coaches who they could go to the well of. Do you have confidence that that's going to happen given the kind of change of the guard, I guess that's happened at Creighton over the last several years now? Maybe, maybe not. They probably wouldn't want to go, quote unquote, in the family. Right. So there's that piece of it. But the real result of that question is we can't know that until we find out how it turns out and how it works out for Creighton and who they hire, if that were to be the case. But I understand the sentiment, which is, number one, it wouldn't look good, right? Like this is clearly a program where you can accomplish a lot. It is regardless of what people want to joke about, it is a high major conference. It's one of the best conferences in America, and Creighton has put their stake in the middle of it. They have been one of the best Big East teams throughout its existence since it was recreated 10 years ago. It has been either 1A or 1B. They've won the most games.
It is obviously a basketball school.
It is a basketball school. Now that comes with some challenges.
It does.
Potentially. It comes, I'll tell you what it comes with, Josh. It comes with a lot of unknown. I don't know how this is all going to turn out with the conferences and the money and the TV and all this. I genuinely have no idea how that's going to look. So it could be good for basketball. It could be bad for basketball. The Big East is certainly caught in the crosshairs of all of it, which I think Big East basketball is great and it's pure and it's a bunch of basketball schools who are like-minded and they basically only play basketball at the Division I level anyway. Or at the high major level, whatever you want to call it. I think it's pure in that way, but we know that pure things become unpure in this current state of college athletics. So that's maybe not as much of an upside or a positive part as it once used to be if you were a basketball coach. There's obviously the money piece of it. We don't know how much Matt gets paid because we don't have that information because they don't have to tell us. So, there's a lot to it, but I wanted to go back to what Adam said and how it would be catastrophic. It certainly wouldn't look good. It certainly wouldn't look good for Creighton. You have a good thing, and as Ed Cooley said the other night, there's an appreciation there, and I don't know what he was talking about, but it would definitely hurt for Creighton to not really pony up and try the best they could to keep him, right? That I think that goes without saying.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to get an email from Bob here.
Oh,
but I think he's one of the best coaches in the country, and I think it makes a lot of sense why other teams would want to come in and try and poke him away, especially if they felt like the door was open. And I think and that's maybe the bigger problem with all of this. Other schools around the country feel as if the door is open because we've been having this conversation now for the last several years at the end of the season.
Bob has emailed before.
They've not been told no. Right?
Mac isn't a top 8 coach in the Big East.
Yeah. He's got all the stats and whatever. I'm going with the Bomani Jones eye test on that one. But yeah, I think he's one of the best. I think he's one of the best 10, 15 coaches in America. And so like I said, I think it makes a lot of sense why people would want to come get him. And he's at the juncture of his career and in his life. Is like, okay, what's he want to do? Does he feel like he can win a national championship here? How high does he prioritize that? And where do I feel like I can do it? And what's the right setup? And how big of a rebuild would we have to do? And, how fast could we win and all that stuff? But
so, I mean, that
triggered for sure.
That's the thing with him, right? Like what are your goals I don't know. I don't have the math right in front of me and the schedule and all that. I believe against a very, very bad team early next year, he would become the winningest coach in Creighton history, unless they went on a similar run in the postseason.
I think it's 9 more.
9 more now, yeah. And 6 in the regular season. So I guess he could get it this year. But
it'd be really good if they did.
Yeah, it would go ahead and try.
Yeah.
But then you got to start asking yourself, okay, what do I want to do here, and what do I want to do in life and in my profession? Mm-hmm. And you need to.
I think let's just put a bow on this. I think there's a lot of reasons for it not to be Ohio State, but he's going to keep popping up. Because once again, I think the message has been sent that the door is not completely closed on that.
Despite where you think he may be on a list of coaches in the country, he has value.
I found it interesting that Lamont Paris wasn't on this list, who's a name that I had heard a lot for that job, who's currently the coach at South Carolina, who they got winning a whole bunch of games. I find that sort of interesting.